Back by popular demand, real estate test questions. Always get emails asking for more test questions, so do another video. Here's 10 test questions that are going to help you pass the real estate exam in 2024. All right, number 1. What is the difference between void and voidable contracts? Oh, I like this part. It says choose the best answer. A. They are one in the same. The two terms can be used interchangeably. B. Voidable contracts are only used on residential property, while void contracts can be used in any real estate related transaction. C. Void contracts are not contracts, while voidable contracts have the necessary elements to be enforceable, but can be rejected by one party. D. Voidable contracts are not contracts, while void contracts have the necessary elements to be enforceable, but can be rejected by one party. Remember, choose the best answer. The best answer is answer C. Void contracts are not contracts because they lack an essential element of a contract and thus are unenforceable. Voidable contracts have the necessary elements to be enforceable, so they appear to be valid, but can be rejected by one party if the contract is discovered to have any number of defects. Question number 2. Which of the following legal concepts requires real estate listings to be in writing? A. Fraud Enforcement and Recovery Act. B. Fair Housing Act. C. Statute of Transgression. D. Statute of Frauds. Answer is D. The statute of frauds requires certain types of contracts to be executed in writing. And the statute covers contracts for the sale of land, agreements involving goods worth over $500, and contracts lasting 1 year or more. Question number 3. What is a radioactive gas dispersed from natural decay of mineral in earth? Odorless, colorless, and tasteless. A. Asbestos. B. Radon. C. Mold. D. Argon. Well, seeing as asbestos is a man-made thing and mold just grows, I'm not actually sure what argon is, but the answer is B. Radon. It's a radioactive gas dispersed from the natural decay of mineral in the earth. It rises out of the ground and enters homes through openings in basements where usually found. Question number 4. A contract agreed to and signed under duress is what? A. Void. B. Valid. C. Voidable. D. Executed. The answer is C. The contract was established under duress, fraud, deception, or coercion, making it voidable. A voidable contract is a legal agreement between two parties that may be unenforceable for any number of reasons. Voidable contracts have the necessary elements to be enforceable, so they appear to be valid, but they can be rejected by one party if the contract is discovered to have any number of defects. All right, before we hit question number 5, the halfway mark of our 10 questions, go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you like the content that I've been making. Thank you for the support. Let's get back to the questions. Okay, question number 5. Which of the following real estate contract clauses is typically seen in blanket mortgages and allows for the freeing of all or part of a property from a claim through a proportional or full amount of the mortgage being paid off? A. The release clause. B. The defeasance clause. C. The alienation clause. D. The prepayment penalty clause. The answer, A. A release clause is a contract provision, typically in a blanket mortgage, that allows for the freeing of all or part of a property from a claim through a proportional or full amount of the mortgage being paid off. Question number 6. A seller named Joan gave a buyer named Bob an option for 30 days to purchase her property for a consideration of $750. There is no anti-assignment clause in the contract. Which of the following statements is not true? A. Joan is the optionor. B. Bob is the optionee. C. Bob can assign the option to a third party. D, Joan can force Bob to purchase the property. So first of all, Joan, you're selling your property for $750. Can I get in on that? Because there are no homes for 700. There are no properties that are available for sale for $750 in my area. Okay. So the answer is D, and we're going to walk through each one, right? So Joan is the optioner, Bob is the optionee, right? So Bob has the option to purchase the property. And because there's no anti-assignment clause, Bob can go ahead and assign the option if he wants to. So remember, a seller cannot force a buyer to buy the property with an option to purchase. It's worth noting that the seller can in a lease to purchase, but in this question, it specifies it's an option contract, right? So Bob has the option. Bob, you should definitely buy that property for $750. Okay, question number 7. When calculating the amount of real estate taxes owed, calculations are based on what type of value? A, assessed value. B, implied value. C, market value. D, appraised value. And so for any of you that have paid property taxes, you're going to know the answer is the assessed value. The answer is A, is a property's determined valuation to calculate the appropriate tax rates. All right, question number 8. What is a one-of-a-kind contract that is solely between the seller and the buyer? In this arrangement, the seller gives the buyer the option to purchase property at a given price for a set period. A, an executed contract. B, an express contract. C, an implied contract. D, an option contract. Answer D, a real estate option contract. We just went over this with Joan and Bob, right? Joan gave Bob that option to purchase her property for $750. So, yeah, a real estate option contract is a one of a kind contract that is solely between the seller and the buyer. In this type of contract, the seller gives the buyer the option to purchase the property at a given price for a set period. Question number 9. Under a lease for a commercial property, a tenant agrees to pay $3,000 per month plus 4% of the gross monthly sales. This type of lease is called A, single net lease. B, double net lease. C, triple net lease. D, percentage lease. The answer is D. A percentage lease is a lease in which all or part of the rental is a specified percentage of gross income from the total sales made upon the property. Okay, friends, we're here at the end. Question number 10. I've had a great time studying with you. I'm hoping this video really helps you pass your real estate exam. All right, question number 10. Under what situation, if any, may a lender consider age when making a lending decision? A, never. B, if the applicant's income might drop due to retirement. C, if the applicant's source of income is through any form of public assistance. D, discount or refuse to consider income because it comes from part-time employment, Social Security, pensions, or annuities. The answer is B. A creditor can consider age if it's used to determine the meaning of other factors important to credit worthiness. For example, a creditor could use your age to determine if your income might drop because you're about to retire. A creditor cannot consider age in any of the other situations listed. So, from a lending perspective, right, they just want to make sure that your income and your ability to repay the loan is still sufficient. So, in this specific example, it does make sense if someone is going to retire and their income drops, they would take that into consideration. So, I've had such a good time going over these questions with you that I want to give you one bonus question. Question number 11. Mrs. Jackson signs an open listing on her home with 3 different brokers. In this case, A, each broker has an opportunity to earn the entire commission. B, the owner must pay a full commission to all 3 brokers if it sells. C, the owner must pay the first broker to take the listing when it sells. D, the brokers will split the commission 3 ways regardless of who sells it. Mrs. Jackson, playing the field. All right. The answer is A. An open listing is just open, truly open. Each broker has the opportunity to earn the entire commission if they can come up with a buyer. I like this question a lot because it's kind of relevant to what's going on in real estate with the NAR commission settlements. This one's kind of funny because it just proves that all real estate commissions have always been negotiable. If you thought these test questions were helpful, go ahead and like the video. And I hope you have a great time studying and passing your real estate exam.